story. So, as you might know, we are part of this church, and there's a lady here who propagates some plants, and in this case, she had a fig tree, well, multiple, but the fig tree, and I bought this fig tree, and she uses the funds for some good purposes. So I bought this fig tree, and we had it at home, and I'm now looking at where to plant this fig tree. So I had a spot in the garden, and I sort of put it there in its pot, and we now let a few weeks pass, and we decide, yes, this feels right. This is where I want to plant it. I just need to dig a hole for it. So the Saturday afternoon, I start to dig a hole. I have a spade, a pick, and I start to dig this hole, and I get about this deep, and it's all just stone. And I thought, well, what I need is a crowbar. And so I go on the internet, I'm a internet savvy. I look in Bunnings, I see they have a crowbar, so off to Bunnings I go. And I found a beautiful little crowbar there.
That's yours.
Do you want to come and just hold it for me for a while, please? No, I'm just joking. This is a heavy piece of equipment. So I come back and at home with my crowbar, but the sun is sort of setting. And I just, okay, the next morning, which is Sunday morning, I'll get into my planting my fig tree. So the Sunday morning, I'm up there, and I go and I start, you can see, and I start to work that hole, and I'm expecting I'll get in between the stones, and sort of loosen them and get the stones out. It's just really not coming together for me. Now this is it's a mean piece of equipment. When you go like that with this, John, especially going down, create a lot of force. So after a while I decide, maybe I shouldn't overextend myself. This is church. We normally get here by 9 o'clock for the prayer meeting. And I decide before I start to sweat, I'll stop and I'll continue later. So I put it down, we come to church, and I'm standing somewhere there where Max is, and we're worshiping in the worship time. And just exactly as Jess said, I was like leaning into the Lord during worship. You might remember about a month ago we had the message from Gabe Valenza, Bill Johnson's son-in-law, where his son was talking about really leaning into the Lord to hear what he says. But I wasn't so much listening to the Lord, I was just leaning into him. And he spoke to me. And he said to me, you are busy breaking into council's stormwater drain. And I thought, okay, I probably shouldn't do that. So I went back after church and I looked at it, and I decided maybe I'll move the fig tree just a little bit this way. So I dug there and I planted it a little bit further. And I looked at some of the stone that I had broken off, and there were some concrete pieces.
Oh, that's
So, who's next?
The fig tree will love the water that comes out of it.